Okay, so Pokemon Sleep. How do they know you're sleeping?
So you have to keep the app open all
Okay.
night. So there's like a mode where you'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to go to sleep, and you'll like plug in your phone.
Uh-huh.
It'll be on the screen. It has like some cool features on the screen, like you can set an alarm and stuff. It also has what's called like a smart alarm.
Okay.
It'll monitor your sleeping habits, and when it knows that you've completed REM rest and it's like close to the time that you say you want to wake up,
Uh-huh.
it'll look at your pattern and see if you're like ready to wake up, and it'll play your alarm earlier than the time that you anticipated. But you can also disable that.
Oh, okay,
It's just
okay.
an
I was gonna
optional
say
feature.
that sounds very intrusive.
No,
Almost.
yeah, you can choose to disable that feature.
Okay, okay.
But then, yeah, you keep it on your bed, and basically it just measures the motion.
Oh, so if you touch it, then it knows you're awake.
Yeah, or if like you're making way too much movement, or if it's way too loud in the room,
Bro, what if I snore a lot
it'll capture that.
and say I'm awake?
No, it'll still think you're asleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about people with like sleep apnea. Yeah.
it just goes shh.
No, those people are straight. They're almost dying in their
Oh
sleep.
my god.
Yeah, yeah. Because the whole premise of sleep apnea is that you stop breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then they would make less noise, right?
No, it's like the sound of choking.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's like
How do you know this?
a lot of comedians actually have sleep apnea, and they talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you've just slept with a lot of comedians.
Some of my friends, you might think they have sleep apnea, considering how loud they are when they sleep.
Oh god.
Yeah,
So you've also slept with a lot of your friends.
not as I grow, not as I grow older. When's the last time you had a sleepover with a friend?
Whoa, the last time I had a sleepover with a friend?
Yeah.
Like, well, I went to Chicago to go to Lollapalooza, and like we slept in the same hotel room. So I guess that.
That counts. That
Okay.
counts. Yeah, because you typically wouldn't do that, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Okay.
not.
Right. Did you share a bed?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a sleepover.
yeah.
Yeah.
There were 3 of us in a king bed.
I have not shared a bed with a friend since like I think it's been 5 years.
So your wife's not your friend.
She is, but
Yeah, I get it.
but then I would say wife. I wouldn't say my male friends. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's one of those things that maybe you do less of as you grow older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as a kid, like I loved sleepovers. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just because you don't get to hang out late.
Mhm.
So sleepovers, they're staying over the night. They have to hang out with you through the night.
That's true.
Yeah.
During sleepovers, what kind of kid were you? Were you like the guys? It's like 10 p.m. We gotta go to bed.
No. I was not. I was not. I was like, when I was really younger,
Uh-huh.
like I'd be the one like grappling you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I would just like grapple, and I'd be like, "Are you sleeping?"
Uh-huh. So you were the last one to fall asleep then.
Not the last one, but I definitely wanted to have fun.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to waste the opportunity and be like, guys, let's treat this like a regular night. Like we gotta be good. Let's sleep at 9. It's 9. Yeah.
Were you like, we're gonna pull an all-nighter. This is gonna be the most epic night.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna stay awake till failure. Yeah, and that point is always like 11.
Yeah.
You just can't go past.
Yeah, I think the most I did, I stayed up until 6 a.m. and regretted it the next day. I was in like 4th grade.
Staying up till 6 is crazy for a 4th grade.
Oh yeah, like the Wii just dropped.
Oh, were you staying up to cop the drop?
No, we were playing Wii Sports for like so many hours. Like we were doing like the archery one on Wii Sports.
Okay.
Like there's like the secrets that you can get that give you like 100 points or something, which was like way more than the 10 points you could get from shooting the bullseye.
I didn't know that.
There's like a secret watermelon on every level.
Oh.
And if you shoot the watermelon, you get like 100 points. So we just stayed up all night trying to shoot watermelon.
So you gotta find it first.
Yeah.
And then you gotta kind of like go off screen and shoot it.
Yeah, it's crazy because I feel like at that time, it's like now, if I had something like that, I'd just like Google it. Be like, where's the watermelon on the level? But I feel like when I was a kid, like Google was still there. But I was like, no, Google's not going to have the answer.
Yeah. I think as a kid, you try not to find the cheat codes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like GTA Chinatown.
Yeah.
Of course, you can unlock God mode.
Yeah.
Well, why would I want that? The closest I come to a cheat code is like my friends would tell me, "Hey, if you go to like this location, you'll find a tank," and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'm going."
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Nintendo Wii, that's a weird one because I feel like it was a fad almost.
Oh yeah.
I remember playing Wii for the first time. I mean, it was a big deal in the 2000s, but
Yeah.
I played Kung Fu Panda on the Wii.
You're
And
okay.
there was this one mission where you had to just like beat a drum
Mhm.
as many times as possible. My arms were so sore, and I was like, I'm never playing the Wii again. This sucks.
For the viewers, can you show us what that looked like?
Oh, yeah, you grab the Wii stick.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, but now of course I'm much more in shape, and
Uh-huh.
it's a motion I'm more familiar with. So
Do you want to elaborate on that? No, we'll leave that up to
Yeah.
their imagination.
yeah,
But yeah, that's crazy.
yeah,
That's kind of like, so you think we just try to like find shortcuts these days?
absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not. Like the game is here to serve me.
Yeah.
It will not make me bend to its missions and
Yeah.
whatnot. If I have to spend more than 10 minutes
Mhm.
trying to solve something to move on, yeah, I'm Googling it.
Yeah.
Also, the idea that I might be missing out on some secret weapon or some resource, I guess, terrifies me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I want all the cool things.
Hmm.
Like when I play Minecraft, I'm probably the worst person to play with because
Speedrun diamond.
speedrun diamond. I only care about collecting diamonds.
Yeah.
Like immediately I start digging down.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You and I are so when I play Minecraft, I let my other friends find diamonds just so that they can get like an enchantment table.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just sitting there like, you know what? I'll be the breadwinner, you know?
No, you're the homemaker.
Hey, calm
Yeah,
down.
yeah, no.
What I do is I get my three sticks,
uh-huh.
kill a couple spiders, get some string, find myself a nice pond, and just start fishing.
I have never fished
Okay.
in Minecraft.
Fishing in Minecraft is so cathartic because it's like gambling. But the only thing I'm putting in is time. You can like, when you start getting the enchantments on your fishing rod, you can like look at the sea and stuff. You can start like fishing out diamonds, and then you're like, oh yeah.
Okay, first of all, if for those who don't know, to enchant an item in Minecraft, it actually takes like a lot of precious like resources like rubies or emeralds that you find, right?
Excuse me. It only takes lapis lazuli.
Okay. But obviously they're not the easiest to find. So to use that on a fishing rod,
Okay. Lapis pretty easy to find. Let's be honest. After the enchantment table is created, all you need is books, experience, and lapis.
no.
See, all right.
It's like if someone asks you like if I'll give you $1 million, what are you buying? There's like 10 responsible things you should buy
Yeah,
or put that money to.
And I bet you would say like stocks.
Probably. Yeah,
I'm buying a fishing rod.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, instead of saying like I'm gonna buy a sports car or yeah, Lambo and hookers. No, there's like or a nice watch. No, there's like 5 things I can easily think of
Oh yeah.
that you should always put money into before you start going in that direction.
Is this financial advice for the record?
Yeah, I'll say that's financial advice. I'm literally telling you not to buy a Lamborghini.
Okay, so what are the 5 things you're telling me to buy?
No, for that you need to buy my course. That's how I make money.
What's your course called? Do you have a name, or is it still in the works?
I don't know, but it would definitely be like, how to be responsible with your money. But the first step is you have to be irresponsible by buying my course.
Like all good courses.
Exactly. They all make money through subscriptions.
Yeah, I just imagine that all of those courses start with, you've already made the worst choice of your life. But the good news is, you won't make it again.
I think you say that ironically, but I'm pretty sure they might start off like that. Yeah, like this is the one thing you will ever need to buy.
Yeah.
And then they buy it.
Yeah.
And they always make it look like it's on discount.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it's like $1,200 value, but for you, $50.
Yeah, like where's the value coming from?
Yeah, they're all videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of money, what excites you these days?
M- Money. No. So when I first got my job out of college,
Uh-huh.
it was like every paycheck,
Yeah.
like yes, money, come in, come in. And obviously the first job you make the most money that you ever have in your life. In fact, for me, I've never really had, I guess internships count, but like a real job.
Hmm.
And now you don't do school, so this is your livelihood. So that's what I would look forward to. Um, but man, it's nowhere enough to get excited about. It's not like 5 paychecks in, suddenly you're at like $100,000
Yeah,
saved.
no.
Yeah, yeah. Or I'm not that fortunate,
Uh,
unfortunately. Yeah. Uh, but nowadays, I guess this past week, I've been playing. I've gone back into TFT.
oh, okay.
Yeah, TFT is like a League of Legends game mode where it's like wizard's chess.
Yeah.
So it's strategy.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm not really wasting my time.
Yeah,
th-
sure. So
this-
you like definitely don't look up like a comp that's good and then
No, I do not.
Okay,
Which is
okay.
why I'm hard stuck in silver.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look at me with my guy math. It's like it's not a waste of time. It's literally helping me
Yeah.
be better. I'm better for it.
Yeah, so on the topic of money then, what do you think your first irresponsible purchase was?
It's toys.
Toys?
They're always toys. Like I should not be buying as much Lego as I do. I should not be buying as many, or I should not have bought as many art figures.
Uh-huh.
But it's the psychology of a limited drop. It always gets me.
Hmm.
Strangely enough, I'm not into shoes.
Fair.
Yeah,
But the concept of scarcity gets to you.
yeah, absolutely. The idea that I was faster than someone, so I managed to get it, and I know someone else really wants it.
Uh-huh.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay, we can delve into
Yeah,
that later.
yeah.
That's something that I think is worth exploring. But
Yeah. What about you? What excites you nowadays?
yeah, I think it's interesting. So yeah, similar to you, back when I graduated college, fortunately I had the opportunity to take on some internships, so I already had some money in my bank. So I don't think I was super concerned with the number going up. Something in college that always excited me that I didn't think would ever excite me is like spontaneity. Just like not having any plans and then within like 10 minutes you're going on some crazy adventure with your friends.
Have you ever just walked into the airport and gone up to the counter and said, "I'd like a ticket, please"?
No way.
Okay. So
No way.
what do you mean
So
spontaneity?
it's like it's like a subfraction of that. Like I like not having to plan my weeks in advance. Like that feels so mechanical. Like people will like try to put things on my calendar. They'll be like, "What are you doing 3 Mondays from now?" I'm like, "Dude, what?"
Okay, 3 weeks is a little far.
Yeah.
What about? So what's acceptable to you?
I think like a 1 week time frame.
Oh yeah.
If it's like
yeah.
a big trip, like if I have to fly somewhere or drive somewhere that's more than an hour away, like probably like need at least like a two weeks heads up minimum. More than that if I'm flying.
I'd say so. Yeah. I think for me the threshold is if I can't sleep in my house
Yeah.
tonight, in my home tonight, I need at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 weeks sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like if I need at least 1 week's heads up. But there's a caveat to that. If you're planning something and it's like something that needs to be planned, I also need that to be planned more than an hour in advance. Like you can't like we were talking about this the other day. If I'm coming home at 5 p.m. and then you text me at 6 p.m. want to get dinner at 8 p.m., that's not gonna work.
Oh, that doesn't work?
No.
Why not?
That's just not enough time. I think I liked being spontaneous, but now being spontaneous is difficult. So I think what I draw excitement from these days is a little bit different than what it was in college.
Okay, right, because you were talking about what excited you first.
Right.
Okay, so
So
how
these
have you
days,
evolved? Yeah.
these days I think I just get excitement from seeing my friends. Like just
Oh, like I get you excited?
whoa, calm down. Calm down. No, but I think anything like that breaks me out of the mundane cycle of life.
I I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's man, COVID really kind of me put me through the ringer.
Yeah.
Like I used to be the homebody,
Mm-hmm.
so for me, spending weekends at home not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I've done enough of it for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So now every weekend, like I feel like if I don't see somebody outside of my house, I've wasted it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny. Vanessa and I were talking about how sort of like after all the dust settled, so recently I think our friend group has been pretty busy.
right.
We haven't been hanging out. We didn't used to. There was like a period of time where we didn't hang out a lot. And then we'd always see you message in the chat like, "Hey, we doing something? We
Yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
something?" Where Vanessa was like, "Dude, I think like Paul's going climbing and he's like hanging out one on one with people, and he's like, when am I gonna see everyone again?" Like, like
Vanessa was concerned she wouldn't see anybody.
yeah, no. She thought that's what you were up to. She was like, Paul seems like he's getting kind of lonely.
Yeah,
over
yeah.
there."
No, I was, and it hurts me. It hurts me that nobody took me up.
Oh my!
Yeah,
We were all traveling, bro. But
yeah. We all take turns. We all take
Yeah.
turns making somebody lonely.
yeah,
Yeah,
but hey, I guess that's living in your 20s.
yeah, yeah. I feel, or you feel a lot more confident about being honest about being lonely or being bored. I remember in high school, if you were the first one to initiate something like that,
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of needy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're,
Oh, that guy's desperate.
yeah, like, did you guys also get that message from him? Yeah, he's.
Yeah, it's bad because then people are like, oh my god, that guy gets FOMO. He doesn't get invited to things. And
Right.
then it's cyclical.
Yeah,
And then it's like, oh, you're asking every weekend to hang out? Like, dude, get a life.
yeah,
But hey, I guess that brought us to making a podcast.
yeah.
So tell us about what drove us to make this podcast. You came to me with this idea and said, "Would you be my co-host?" And I happily obliged. But what brought you here?
Yeah, first of all, it's when nobody was responding to my messages. No, I used to make some videos in high school,
Mhm.
like one-off videos with my friends, and every once in a while, I come back to it. It just like pops in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, I made that. I wonder if I can find it. I kind of want to watch it. Uh, and I realized the last time I made a video like that, it was just too long.
Mhm.
And but I gather so much enjoyment looking back at myself. And I was thinking, what's a good way to kind of document where I am right now with all the people that I hang out with. And honestly, podcasts are like a dime a dozen nowadays.
Yeah.
So I was like, why not? Why can't I make one?
Yes,
Hey.
pretty much same. I think my motivation was like, honestly, at this point, creating a podcast isn't as cringy as it used to be. It's just like normal. And like, secondly, we were talking about this the other day too. It's just like I always find myself like, we hang out, we don't even take enough pictures.
Yeah.
Like I look back, I was like, dude, I should have taken at least a picture, and then this will serve to be like our video journal.
To be
throughout
fair, when I guess the Instagram age kind of ruined it for me.
Mhm.
Like taking pictures, it's now considered well, when I think about it, it's not living in the moment.
It's superficial, right?
Right. It's like, come on, just enjoy yourself
Yeah.
right now. Don't pull out your phone and take a picture. Dude, I sound like a boomer now. Yeah, but yeah, since we don't take that many pictures, or when we're enjoying ourselves, we forget about it. Yeah, just dedicating a time. We're almost like blocking a time in our lives where we're saying, you have to sit down, you have to talk to
Mhm.
the camera,
Mhm.
talk into the mic, record yourself for the future. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's self-reflective. It puts you in the present, and you get to see where you were at that point in time. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a video journal, video diary for everybody. And um, who knows, down the road, it might, if, this friend group starts to go their own separate ways, naturally, organically, it's a great way to kind of revisit,
Yeah.
this point of our lives. Because the 20s, it's crazy, I think the age, the 20s, when you're in your 20s, it's socially acceptable to be anything. Like, you could be like a crazy partier, and people will be like, "Oh yeah, you're in your 20s, enjoy it." Or you could be starting a family, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're in your 20s, yes, yeah, it's about time that you settle down."
So, would you say you're at your peak?
I don't think so. I think my peak might be in my 30s.
Oh, let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah, it's off of this hope that in high school, I think I was way lamer and way more ugly. Like, clearly I didn't understand myself enough to kind of live in my own skin at the time. And I think that shows. It shows through, your fashion choices, your activities,
Okay.
but I feel with each year I'm getting more and more aware of who I am. And I think 30s will peak.
Okay.
Yeah. When you're in your 40s, I think that's when people start asking if you have a midlife crisis.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Do you think you've peaked?
No, but well, I feel like it's a hard question to ask. I know I put you on the spot. I just wanted to see how you'd respond. I hope I haven't peaked.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. It would be sad if this was the peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can only look down. It's pretty hard to look up. You don't know what's up.
Are you-
Like you don't. It's hard to see how you get better. It's easier to see where you've been worse.
Gotcha. But
So-
are you hopeful at least?
I think I'm on the up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm worse than I was yesterday.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. But the reason I ask is because segue into our title of our podcast.
hmm
What are we calling ourselves, Paul?
Right. So this is going to be called Peak Connections.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll let the audience ponder that name for a second. Yeah, but essentially, it's a little bit of wordplay there. Peak, because all of us, the main activity that we seem to share is climbing.
Mhm.
So we got those mountain peaks, and obviously it's about how we kind of navigate our connections, our relationships with each other. So yeah, I think it'll be an interesting time. We don't really have the chance to have one-on-one conversations. Usually when we hang out, it's always as a group.
Mhm.
Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really cool because it's pretty hard to figure out who someone is in a group setting. Like it's definitely fun. Like I'm not saying that there's no value in hanging out as a group.
Yeah.
But I think there are friends that we tend to keep at a group distance versus someone that you'd hang out one-on-one with. So this is exploring more of like a pretty in-depth, defining the relationship, if you will, between people in the
What are
friend group.
we?
Yeah, what are we, Paul? I mean, like to be fair, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. It's like we are friends, right? Yeah, we are friends.
But I think you've had some experience with figuring out what it's like connecting with people one-on-one in this friend group.
Yeah, and honestly, that's a big part of where this podcast inspiration came from. Like Rachel,
Mhm.
before she moved back to Austin, one of our last climbing sessions, it was just me and her.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really talked to Rachel that much. Even in a group setting, she's sitting all the way over there. I'm over here.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun. I regret not interacting with her as much before she left.
Mm-hmm.
Also with Doug,
Yeah.
Doug I see very often.
Mm-hmm.
But strangely enough, when it was just him and me climbing, like the conversation, it changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, usually in a group, I guess you kind of go where the group is interested in, but it really lets you focus in on the one person.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you ever talk with people one-on-one within this group?
Yeah, I think I've isolated most people one-on-one. Yeah, you can take that however you want to take it.
Yeah,
But,
that sounds real sus.
No, I think I try to do that though. Like to my friends, it's really hard to get to know someone when you're not one-on-one, and it's not like you're setting up time exclusively to be one-on-one. But there'll be situations where you can avoid like seeing someone one-on-one. It's just a matter of not avoiding them. that.
That's true.
Um,
But I'm always more of someone who likes things to happen organically and
yeah.
naturally. So like the one-on-one time I spent with Rachel or Doug, I didn't plan for it to be a
Mm.
one-on-one. For me to reach out to someone and just be like, hey, just me and you.
Okay. To be fair, I don't mean it like that. I mean
Okay.
like you're in a group chat, right?
Uh-huh.
You see someone be like, "Oh, I can't go climbing today." You have an option there. You can be like, "Oh, dang, I really only wanted to see people like in a group. That's the reason I wanted to go climbing." Quote it like we'll say
Okay.
climbing for this case. Or you could just go anyways, knowing that maybe not everyone's showing up. Maybe it's only one person. That's what I
Oh,
mean. Like
okay.
it's shying away from the scenario of being one
I
on one
see.
because it's uncomfortable versus just doing it anyways.
Ah, okay, okay. So making yourself more open to non-group
Yeah, like
activities.
do you think you were comfortable starting in that one-on-one scenario, or do you think did you like drive to the climbing gym like, oh, this is gonna be so awkward?
No, no, if anything, it's like, dude, sometimes people in this group chat, they don't even respond. They don't even let you know.
Yeah.
Okay? So for me, I
Uh-huh.
thought it was just gonna be myself.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, at that point, it was a pleasant surprise. Maybe that's why I was even more receptive.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like, I can't believe you're here. Thank you so much.
Fair enough. So speaking of which, when's the last time you went climbing?
I went climbing last Thursday.
Last Thursday.
Last
Okay.
Thursday. Uh,
So been over a week. That's a
yes.
pretty large period of time. I think in our prime, the longest period you'd go climbing if you weren't on a ton of trips was like what, less than a week max?
Yeah, yeah. I try to go at least twice a week,
Mhm.
but I also supplement my climbing with going to the gym.
Okay.
I realize that when I only climb, my physique suffers
Mhm.
a little bit. I think it's just because I'm not balancing out the workout all throughout my body,
Mm.
which is strange considering that bouldering is supposed to be like a full body sport.
Mhm.
I would really like us to start tennis up again.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
I need cardio and I hate the running machine.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean it's getting cooler. By cooler, I mean like 91 degrees, but
You know,
it's getting there.
I just went to Ohio
Uh-huh.
this Monday, Tuesday, or earlier this week, and
I'm sorry.
no, dude, I don't mind. It's so nice when they're at like 60, 70-degree weather.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, after spending a summer here at like 105 to like 110, it's Stockholm syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, honestly, we go outside and
Huh?
it's 90 degrees and we're like, it's kind of cool today. How insane is that? That's deranged, okay? That's no one in their right mind should ever say that.
I think a cold front's coming in.
Yeah, it's like pop the weather app. What is that? 85. Wow.
It's give me a jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I mean that's life in Houston.
It wasn't
Honestly.
this bad the past few years.
Oh, I mean in terms of heat, for sure.
Yeah.
But Houston definitely has its quirks.
I fear that just as we had a really hot summer,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna have a really cold winter.
I'd love that. That would be so nice.
I
but,
don't know about that.
I mean, here's one difference. I've been in Houston for most of my life.
Okay.
You came to Houston after you graduated. What do you think that was like? How do you like Houston? Is it different than like you think like finding people to like cool people in other cities or?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I went to college in Illinois, and Houston is way warmer.
Mhm.
And I think warm places, people tend to go outside, want to do outdoor activities. Of course, not the peak of summer.
Mhm.
Yeah, no one's outside then.
Mm.
But I think when people are outside, they just have a better chance to mingle.
Mhm.
Big caveat, I did move here like 2 months before COVID started.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can you guys believe I got an apartment in Midtown because my future colleagues were like, yeah, Midtown is probably where you want to be, being like a young guy who's just starting off after college. Like, you'll get to go out and like meet people. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, it's a little pricey, but I will pay that premium because I don't want to be all alone in a new town. Yeah. So
Yeah, how many friends live in Midtown now?
well, you're kind of close
Yeah,
by.
probably the
You're
closest.
you're probably the closest. Surprisingly, everyone in our friend group mostly lives inside the loop.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I think we'd kick them out of our friend group if they didn't.
Yeah,
No,
I,
I'm just-
I, I was thinking like if I chose to move out to like Katy,
Yeah.
it'd be very hard to see people.
No, yeah, that's like a 45-minute drive.
I always forget how far Katy is.
Yeah, it seems so close because you're like, oh, you just go down I-10.
Yeah.
And you'll get there. You like 40 minutes later on I-10, you're like, damn. What time do I have left on my GPS?
Yeah. So I guess in that sense, it also concerns me. Like, do I have to live in Midtown forever now to see you guys?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right?
But yeah.
Like for you,
Mm-hmm.
if I guess you were just considering moving to like Spring,
Mm-hmm.
up
Would never do that,
north,
but sure.
yeah, or more west.
Okay, yeah.
near the
Yeah,
Katy
yeah.
area. Rent's cheaper. They have stuff to do out
Yeah.
in Katy, so it's not middle of nowhere. It's a reasonable place to consider. But you wouldn't have any friends there in the vicinity.
I mean, fortunately, I would. But,
okay, yeah, I forgot. I forgot the privilege that you come in with.
Oh yeah, from growing up in a suburb outside Houston. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. My
yeah.
bad. But no, I get what you mean. I mean, I know that because I have friends there, I still make the commute and I hang out with people there. Obviously, it's nice to meet in the middle. So a lot of the time, like we just like hang out in Chinatown or something like that, which is nice. But I think it's not too difficult. I mean, it's definitely not as convenient as cities like New York, where you're just like a train ride away from people.
Okay, to be fair, I think New Yorkers have
Uh-huh.
their own sense of cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
Like the subway rides they go on, it's
Yeah.
like 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Like, let's
They're
not
like-
kid ourselves.
And they're like, we're so close.
yeah. I think they don't realize how much time has passed because it's a passive activity.
Yeah.
You're not driving, you don't have to focus, you just get on the train, you sit down.
And like 45 minutes later, you'll be there.
Yeah, like I'll burn 45 minutes on my phone. Easy.
Yeah, it'll also like they'll only like make it 5 miles.
Yeah.
So they'll like pull up Google Maps. They'll be like 5 miles away, 45 minutes. Sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally.
Yeah, I guess we do a form of that ourselves as well.
Yeah.
To us, like a 30-minute drive, that's so close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're 25 miles away. Nothing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll see you. I'll see you in a bit. Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I think it's cool because our climbing gym is kind of centrally located. It's super close to where we're near.
It really is. And something that I was always thinking when I moved into Midtown was, where are all the Asian people? Where are all the young Asian people?
You found them.
I did find them. At first, I kept only finding them at like H Mart.
Were you looking? Why were you looking for young Asian people?
Community, I guess. Yeah, community. Just like to know that I'm not the only guy
Oh yeah,
in
for sure.
Houston. Yeah, like all my coworkers were white.
Yeah.
So I was like, I guess this is Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is like this. But no, I was just not at the right place.
That's interesting because obviously I met you at the climbing gym.
All right.
I think the first couple of times I saw you, I said hi and you gave me like the complimentary like
Yeah, the nod.
Yeah.
The nod.
yeah. So what changed? If you were like looking for younger people to hang out with in Houston, why the cold shoulder?
Oh, okay. This one I can explain. It's because you work at the same place, or you were working at the same place as Ruth.
Uh-huh.
And I guess this is just something that I've always kind of felt iffy about,
Mhm.
but like work friends,
Mhm.
like sure they're friends, but how close can you be?
Mhm.
Like, can you trust them? Like I want to be, if I'm gonna hang out with someone outside of company time, I want to be comfortable with them.
Yeah.
Can I really say what I want?
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I think the place that we worked was definitely unique. I think that's something that's probably pretty unique about our friend group. I think we've all developed a pretty close relationship despite having worked at the same
It
place.
really is. I don't think it's very common to find stuff like that. I guess, would you ever sell out someone to get like a promotion or a big pay
Ooh.
raise?
Someone or like my friends?
Okay, let's see. Man, I can't even think of someone in our friend group because they all left. You're the last man remaining. Let's see. most recent person, let's say Vanessa.
Uh,
Let's say someone came to you and said, Vishal, if you undercut Vanessa and I guess do a better job on this project,
mhm.
we'll give you X amount as a raise. What's that X amount?
That's hard. Because idealistically, I'd say
Right,
I'd never like throw a friend under the bus.
right.
And I think to an extent that's true. Like, I always say that I'll sell out instantly. But that's like different. Like, realistically, there's no scenario where I sell out my friends.
Right.
But obviously, if you make
There's
the
a number. Yeah,
you go up,
there's a number for everyone.
there's
yeah.
a number, but that number is not something even like somewhat realistic.
I was gonna say I've never even thought of the number.
Yeah.
Because the scenario would just never occur.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, people do that all the time. They're like, well, if this company offers you $400,000, will you stay? I'm like, well, yeah, obviously. But like, they would never do that.
Yeah. Yeah, people who are like, for $1 million, would you? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
There's like very little things that you could say after
Yes,
that.
yes. For how long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, that's probably like, I don't know. We talked about this. It's a little bit unique. I think the more you trauma bond over certain situations, the closer you get.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, the source of trauma is work.
Looking back at all my closest friends, definitely trauma bonding.
Yeah.
Like close college friends from the same major, that's trauma bonding right there. Close high school friends, that's just puberty trauma bonding right there.
Whoa, puberty trauma bonding.
Yeah. It's like, God, my parents don't understand me, and you're like, me neither. Like, let's talk about it.
Is that a real conversation you had? I believe it. You don't have to answer that question.
Yeah. I don't have the my family's, or I'm not a very affectionate person when it comes to family. I think, yeah, that picture perfect idea of family usually doesn't really sit with me, or it doesn't really connect with me too much. And I know for some people it can throw them off because they grew up in a very different environment. But yeah, for myself, it's like, definitely I was one of those kids who enjoyed spending time with his friends outside of the house more than inside. Like, for me, family trips felt lame.
They're like a chore.
Kinda. It's like you don't get to choose your family, right?
Yeah.
So the likelihood of you being like the best personality fit or best friends, the likelihood's gonna be pretty low.
Yeah.
So to hang out with people that you don't, I guess, have the most fun with, yeah, it can feel like a chore.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I've thought about that a lot, but I think it's strange because, like the whole nature versus nurture debate.
Right.
Like, I think I tend to fall pretty heavily that nurture is like a very strong influence on a person. So if I subscribe to that like ideology, you'd say that, okay, if my parents are the ones who raised me, I'm probably similar to them, or like I'd probably get along with them. But it turns out that that's not true.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I do believe in more of the nurture side, but I guess looking at myself, perhaps not.
Yeah, because, I mean, do you think you're similar to your parents?
I am, and I think that's a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I ended up pretty dissimilar from my parents. And I think because of that, I get along better with them now.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Because sometimes I think about if I went back like a year or two, and yeah, I'm a time traveler now, and I find myself, I'm like hanging out with myself. Would I like it?
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, I don't think I would.
No, I think I would hate it. I think it's interesting. I've thought about that too. I think I look at the people I dislike, which is very rare that I dislike someone, and I think what happens is I always isolate one trait about them that's just way too uncanny to something I'm self-conscious about. And like, when I do that, I'm like, the reason I hate this person is because they're like the part of myself that I hate.
Dude, that's very well put, and I've run into that before. Yes. Yeah. So all that to say, my parents and I We're
Yeah.
a little too similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's strange because you're like, if I disagree with them because of this similarity, like, do I need to change that about myself?
I used to think like I know my parents' faults,
Mm-hmm.
so I won't fall in that pitfall.
Mm-hmm.
But I always
Yeah.
do. So maybe that is nature
Yeah.
there.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like my parents would argue about something. I'm like, I'll never argue about that with my partner in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But I have.
So then on that topic, what do you think your like most defining trait would be? Or like what do you wish it was?
I really wish, or I hope to remain like a humorous guy.
Uh-huh.
I think the worst thing I could or a person could be is be too serious about themselves. Take things too seriously. It's just not a good time. And honestly, life is so strange
Mhm.
that to go about it in such a serious manner, I think you're gonna have a tough time.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense. When you think of people who are serious, it seems like they've quote unquote figured out life when it
Yeah.
feels like they're trying to solve an unsolvable puzzle. So you're like, there's no point in being serious. You know no more than I do.
Exactly. It's like, calm down, man. Like, like we're just trying to figure things out. At the same time, we're all gonna die eventually. Like, no need to be so stoic about
Yeah,
it.
might as well be like a little delusional. You know?
Yeah. Like, have some fun. Like, let's do something crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so definitely, yeah, I definitely agree. I think like humor is one of your defining personality traits.
Yeah, but
Um,
humor is subjective.
Yeah,
So
oh for sure.
unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword in
Yeah.
that sense. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? Let's elaborate.
I mean, so I've heard my sense of humor is dry,
Uh-huh.
and I would agree with that because when I was younger, I was just bitter,
Mm-hmm.
and I do believe that if you're well adjusted, if you're a bitter teen,
Uh-huh.
your future form is just dry humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your Pokemon evolution.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
From bitter to do.
Yeah, dry. Yeah,
Totally
exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah, so I would say, and of course, my humor has evolved
Uh-huh.
over time. When I think about my high school self, man, I would probably not be able to stand him right now. Like, dude, I would say I was just thinking about it the other day. Like, what's something that I said to my friends that could have been annoying? Like this, I had a friend. He got a new girlfriend,
Uh-huh.
and I told him she looks like your mom. And in retrospect, I would have hated to hear something like that. So why on God's earth did I say that to him?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you practice humor like that,
Uh-huh.
you also you cross a fine, or you walk a fine line with the idea of like, hey, I'm just saying it like it is.
Mhm.
You know, she does look like your mom. Let me pull up a picture.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
exactly. So at this point in my life, I really don't like people who are like, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
You know, like there is such thing as tact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think
we all catch ourselves becoming that I'm just being honest person, but it's just like when you choose to be that person.
right. It's there's always some intent,
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe. Whether you realize your intent before others do, that's a risky game you're playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned that because I remember when you came up to me with the idea of the podcast, I first said yes, and then I was like, "Why did you choose me?" And you sort of like talked through it, and you're like, "Well, I think you're like the most dissimilar from me in the friend group." I thought that was like that caught me off guard. I think initially at first because I think the two of us tend to have like the most similar humor in the friend group.
That's true. But
Like I think a lot of the time we find that one of us says something and we're the only two people laughing.
Yeah, yeah.
In the-
No, you're right. We definitely share a sense of humor, but
Uh-huh.
I guess we're different enough in other regards
Yeah.
where I think it fills the picture a little bit better.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like on that line of like being tactful about when you're just being honest, like I feel like that's something that's usually pretty contentious between people.
Yeah.
Like that's when you draw the line and say I'm dissimilar than them. But the fact that that's like sort of embedded in our like similarity of humor, it seems interesting that we still find ourselves being pretty dissimilar.
Yeah, that's true. Well, with that, what do you think your most defining trait is?
I'd say that my currently most defining trait is just probably curiosity.
Curiosity.
Yeah, I think that was a big reason I said yes to the podcast. I was more or less just curious about where it would go.
Oh, I
Like,
see.
had to see it through kind of.
Going back to
kinda
that
deal.
spontaneity.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's cool just to see how things end up like they are. Like what
Yeah.
steps you take to get there. On a serious note, it's like anytime I make a decision, I want to know why I made that decision. Because we all find ourselves saying yes or no. But like why did you say yes or no? You can backtrack through it and find the root reason that you did something. And I think that like curiosity is the only thing that keeps me like really asking questions about myself, and the only thing that really helps me keep growing.
Yeah, I would say someone who's not curious is probably not a fun person
Yeah.
to be with.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to want to explore anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think like what I wish my most defining trait was is like confidence. I think we discussed this a little bit, and I know you mentioned that like curiosity and confidence would tend to go together.
Right.
But I found that in my own experience, it's a little bit different. Like I think that I find myself faking confidence too much. Like I think people always tell you fake it till you make it,
Right.
but it still is not sticking. Like every
Hmm.
time I say something, I'm like, oh, that's not me.
Do you find that gap in confidence even more so because you're trying to be, or because you are so curious?
Yeah, I think it's because I'm aware of it. I think the more you become aware of a difference, the more you become less confident.
That's
Like
interesting.
you start asking like questions about why someone else is so confident,
Uh-huh.
and then unfortunately, I think a large amount of the time I'm like, that person's confident because they're stupid. I'm like, they're so confident because they don't know they're wrong.
Dude, when I was in college, the funniest exchange I ever saw was there's this guy who wrote like a post in like the university group chat,
Uh-huh.
and other people were like, or there were some people who were very upset at that, and the original guy, he's like, "You hate me because you're racist," and the people responded, "No, I hate you because you're stupid."
Yeah, but on that note, like, what do you think you wish your most defining personality trait was?
I would say maybe confidence as well, but a little different.
Mm-hmm.
It has more to do with like gravitas.
Mhm.
Like I want people to be, I guess, drawn to me, or I guess I want people to enjoy their time with me enough where they're like, you know what, I miss hanging out with Paul,
Mhm.
or when I hang out with Paul, I always have a great time. That kind of
Mm.
like natural draw. I think some people might even just chalk it up to like someone's charisma,
Mhm.
but I would tend to agree. But the hard thing about charisma is that it's just not something you can teach yourself.
You can't learn Riz.
Yeah, I don't think you can learn it. Like, you might be able to try to copy someone,
Uh-huh.
but that's when you feel like you're faking it the most.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, like you really want to talk about something, or you really want to do something, but you pull yourself back. Like, you know what? No, I need to maintain this mysterious, calm aura around me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to disagree with myself for a little bit. I think there are definitely scenarios where I faked something long enough to make it,
Uh huh.
but it's like in the worst way possible. It's like I'll tell myself a story and then I'll forget that I like made it up. You know what I mean? Like there are things about myself that I'm sure I've copied from other people, and I'm just like so dead sure
Oh,
that's who I was.
that's
I mean, And the thing is, like, you can't observe that, right? Like, if you're at the point where you think it's something that you've always been, you can't take a step back and say maybe I wasn't that before.
Oh man, this is
It's
the
too meta,
whole like
but-
yeah, this is like AI doesn't realize it's AI
Oh,
moment or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Huh. What kind of kid were you when you were in high school or younger?
What do you? Oh, I was like the very by the books Asian kid.
Okay, so not curious.
No, I was curious, but I was like, I can't ask the questions. Like, I'm told to do something, do
Uh-huh.
it.
Oh, okay.
And I definitely got in trouble one too many times for asking why. You know, like when when you're a 13-year-old and somebody tells you to do something, they don't really like it when you go why.
I experienced something similar,
Uh-huh.
but for different reasons.
Uh-huh.
When I was in third grade, that's when I spent some time in Singapore, and
Mhm.
in Singapore, third grade is when they teach you like plant biology,
Okay.
like different parts of a plant and like how it gets fertilized.
Uh-huh.
And you know, when they teach about the life cycle of a plant, it's always like, oh yeah, and you have the pollen,
Mhm.
and then you have the stigma, and then that's how you fertilize it. Well, fourth grade now, it's human biology, and we're talking about the same concept. It translates, you know, like oh, there's the male part, there's a female part, and my question was, how does it get there?
Uh, no way. You were a fourth grader?
Yeah. I was like, I understand that when the sperm reaches the egg, it gets fertilized. I get it. But the sperm starts here. And the egg is all the way over there. Can you tell me how it gets there?
You were like, with plants, there's bees.
Yeah. Like you told us, yeah, the wind will blow it, like bees or like other animals who are attracted to like nectar will carry it for you. Who is taking this from point A to point B? No one would answer me.
I can imagine why.
Yeah. But
yeah, we had different types of curiosity.
yeah.
For sure. I think there's
That's
a
not the
fine
kind of
line.
curiosity. No?
No.
Oh, you're on something else
See,
here.
that's strange because I think there are two types of people. Like I think people can generally be categorized as either like bubbly people or either like pretty like quiet people.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes there are people that do both, but you'd expect that from someone who's like more of a bubbly, outgoing person. Like you'd never expect the quiet kid.
And that's the thing. I was like a teacher's pet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would sit in the front row. Like, of course, you know they have like a sticker system where whenever you're good, they'll give you a sticker, and whoever has the most stickers, you're the best kid.
Uh-huh.
And I was so competitive. I was like, I am the best kid. I'm gonna get all the stickers.
Okay.
So it's just like in the most polite way ever. Like raise your hand, wait until the teacher calls on you, and you articulate your question the best you can, and they just go like, no, no, I don't think so.
Interesting. That's interesting. Do you think you're still very competitive?
I think I am,
Mhm.
but now I think I've reached a point where I understand our circumstances are so different. It's really hard to compete fairly.
Mhm.
For example, I find myself rationalizing this a lot. We climb.
Mhm.
There are people who've been climbing for a long time,
Mhm.
and obviously they climb way better.
Oh yeah.
For those people, I'll just say, of course they're better.
Mhm.
They've been climbing longer than me. You and I,
Mhm.
we started around the same time climbing, but I recall earlier, earlier into our climbing activities, like
Mhm.
you were like way ahead because
Mhm.
you were climbing like 3-4 times a week. It was crazy. And at that time, I rationalized, of course he's going to climb better than me. He comes here like 4 times a week. I only come here like twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it's going to be better. But it doesn't take away from the fact that I do want to be good at it.
Yeah.
So I keep doing it. And then in that sense, I guess I'm competing against myself.
Yeah.
Although I do like to do like a cross check.
Yeah.
The only time when I don't rationalize is when I'm better than
Better?
when
Yeah.
I'm better, it's because
Obviously.
Yeah, I'm talented. I'm so talented. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think it's pretty similar. I think maybe that's just like, I think part of it is growing up with a sibling. Like you're
Mhm.
always compared. Usually it's the younger sibling that feels it more. But like my brother is pretty smart, so I think I also felt that way looking down, which sucks. You should never have to compare yourself against your younger sibling.
That's true, but it will happen.
It happens. But
Yeah.
for sure, I think growing up, like, you know, like your parents are like, you got a 96 on the exam? Did someone get 100? Yeah. Like, Dave got 100.
Oh.
Dave got 100. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, it's one exam. No. Like, you're taught to be competitive. And I think we rationalize it by competing against ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Because honestly, at the end of the day, it's the only fair comparison to make.
Wow. The world's not fair though. But yeah, that totally makes sense. Like I it's tough because like I'll look at you guys and I think I'll compare myself when we started climbing. Like I know there was like I started taking really big breaks in climbing. Obviously, didn't keep climbing religiously. And I was like, wow, Paul's better than me now. Like he's doing all these random heel hooks everywhere. He's like fully upside down. How's he sticking onto the wall? I'll just be like, dang, he got better than me. And like when I was able to say you got better than me, I was like, dang, maybe I'm getting better. Like maybe I'm like not as competitive. But I don't think that was it. I was just like, I wonder what else I'm better than Paul at.
Oh man,
it's like we're gonna play tennis tomorrow. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah. Full analysis. Who is better?
Yeah, not better at climbing. Who's the better person? And I think that's interesting because I think I struggled with that in college. I was like always trying to find something that I was the best at because I always saw people who were the best. Like in the friend group, it's like, oh yeah, dude, this guy's got the most riz. Or like, oh yeah, this guy, he's got the best job. And I'll be like, what am I good at? Like, I don't have the most riz.
Yeah, like if other people talk about you, what would they say?
Like, are they gonna say I'm the best at anything? And I was like, maybe not.
Maybe the best hair.
Oh, I had to grow that out. But no, I think it's interesting because I had to like really take like a step back and be like, why do I care? Like, why do I care if I'm the best at something? And I think I'm still trying to figure that out. I think I like rationalized it a little bit. I remember reading a psych paper that was talking about how humans were tribal creatures. Yeah. And like the only way to survive in a tribe is by being useful to the tribe. And if you're the second best, you're not useful.
Gotcha. I can see why. I think for myself, the moment where I stopped taking it so seriously and I stopped being as competitive was when we were applying to college. Because up till that point, you fantasize about getting to like an Ivy League or like top 20 or bust or something like that. It's like you go your whole life, your parents are like, you know what's a good school? Harvard. You know what's a good school? Stanford. Yeah. And they also in that same breath are like, oh my child, you're special. Yeah. So when you go through the college application process, it demoralizes you a little bit.
You get gut checked hard.
Absolutely, especially when at such a young age, you have to write essays about who you are, why you are, what you hope to be. It's brutal.
Yeah, and they're somehow supposed to read this essay and determine that you're a better candidate than another person. Yeah. When, like schools love to talk about like that, like, oh, you're like, maybe this is like judging the ability of a fish to climb up a tree. But like the college application process is like, whatever. Like, they say that you can express yourself in an essay, but writing is a skill just as much as math is.
Absolutely. And I think that's when it hit me that, circumstances will always make people a little bit different. Yeah. And you can't really control some circumstances. So from then on, I think I took it a little less seriously. I think I think that's where it's carried on from. But man, I remember when I got into the University of Illinois, my mom was pissed, dude. She was, because when you get accepted, it's like March-ish. It's not the end of the school year yet. I still had like AP tests. I still had classes to finish. Right. And when I would tell her like I'm going out to the library to study, she'd be like, "For what?" Like, what's the point?
Dang.
Yeah. So yeah, it's sobering a little bit when
That's a good word.
people take themselves too seriously, like my mom. Like, come on, like, and when I went to University of Illinois,
Uh-huh.
because I went in with that mindset that, oh man, this is not a great place. Second gut check, I'm not even the smartest guy there. Yeah, like first midterm, I hit average.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's like because the way you rationalize going to schools that are not your dream schools is you're like, I got unlucky.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you look at the people around you and you're like, I didn't get unlucky.
Yeah.
Unless all of these people also got unlucky. But it's interesting that you mentioned that. So do you think you would have saw the world from the same lens had you gotten into like a Harvard or a Stanford?
So fortunately for me, a lot of my friends went to Ivy Leagues. Yeah,
Okay.
this is school I went to is just ultra competitive, but
Okay.
I think they fall into two buckets.
hmm
The first bucket, yeah, real driven, real passionate about what they do. They continue to succeed.
hmm
The second bucket, they burn out real fast.
hmm
They worked so hard to get into the school. No one actually told them what would happen
When they're
during
there.
school
Yeah.
or after school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what about you? When you got into, I guess, your college, how
Yeah.
did you feel?
Yeah, so I went to the University of Texas at Austin, and obviously it's a little bit different because both you and we both applied to pretty technical majors, right?
Right.
So I think it's comparatively different than if I had applied to something like like a math degree or like a business degree.
Hmm.
I think engineering is strange because it's very application heavy. So the school you go to, at least when you're applying, you feel like it's really important what school you go to because you're like, oh, this program is like a make or break. Like they've got the hookups.
Yeah, oh,
Like if
yeah,
I go to MIT, like maybe I could be stupid, I'll still make it.
yeah.
But
But like, yeah, you wouldn't go to MIT for music.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right? Even though people do, and then you find yourself it's a whole cycle of comparison. But I think when I got there, like same shock. I was like, wow, all of these people, they're all smart. Like it's also special coming from like these little cultural bubbles that I think we both grew up in, where you look at the people that are in the top 50, top 60 students.
Hmm.
There's very little diversity. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you look at the people around you and you're like, they're all like me. And then you go to this massive university and all of a sudden like the people that are beating you are like the people that are like definitely like doing better, at least in school, are not those same people. And it's like a shock. You're like, oh, I thought I knew what life was like.
Oh,
But
you thought you only had to be concerned about one subset of people.
yeah, I mean, more or less. I mean, like I've that's how you're conditioned, I
Yeah.
think. But yeah, I think it did teach me that I didn't need to be as competitive in school because like no matter how much work I can do, there'll be like diminishing returns for every extra hour I spend studying.
Yeah.
That being said, there's definitely so many times in college that I wish I did not study as much as I did.
It's hard to break out of that cycle, I guess.
Yeah, I think I find myself doing it even now. Like there'll be things at work where I'm like, I know that like this extra work that I'm doing won't be appreciated, like it won't matter, but why am I still doing it? Like why do I still want to do a good job
Oh,
even
yeah.
though it doesn't matter?
That those years and years of conditioning catching back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah.
Like I think if anything, I was conditioned to do well on things I don't care about. Like it's ironic.
Yeah. Which is why it's so important to build out hobbies.
Yeah.
The hardest part for me was always talking about my extracurriculars.
Yep.
I volunteered, but so does literally everyone.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's like a requirement to graduate
I
high school.
know. No, I did like 300 plus hours.
Yeah, same.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
See, look at this. Just when I thought it was like a distinguishing factor, no, it's actually not.
Yeah, I think every year of high school I put in at least 100 hours of community service.
Yeah. What'd you do?
So I did a couple things. My mom is a doctor at
Uh-huh.
the VA. So one summer I spent entirely working at the VA clinic in Houston.
Was that fun?
It was interesting. It was definitely interesting because at that point in time I was like pretty set on being a doctor.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And that killed that dream?
No, actually, like honestly, I think like being a doctor is still cool. I
Mhm.
think I just became selfish. I was like, I want money.
Oh, okay. Well, doctors do get paid.
Not for a while.
That's true.
I also thought like that's way too much work. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm lazy and selfish.
I do believe in delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Like when I crave Chipotle on like a Monday,
Uh-huh.
but I know I already have meals prepped.
So you like edge yourself?
I'm like, I'm so close to Friday. I'm getting closer.
So we're getting Chipotle later is what I'm hearing.
Love Chipotle, but yeah, I'm getting closer. But yeah, and I'll do this
Mhm.
not just for something like Chipotle, but for things like vacation, things like large purchases. Like, yeah, I'll save, and then I'll buy this one, or I'll spend it all on this one purchase, like delayed gratification. But becoming a doctor,
Mhm.
that's the kind of delayed gratification I cannot do. I just no, I cannot waste like what 10
years, 10
8?
years, yeah.
No, that is. I'm not edging myself for 10 years. Yeah, no way, absolutely not.
But yeah, so yeah, that's what I thought. But obviously, here we are now.
Yeah, but yeah. So you did that VA volunteering for 4 years.
Yeah, I did that for like 2 years, and then some other like I did like this library project for a school in Africa, like book drives.
Oh, okay,
Stuff like
okay,
that.
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, just here and there, and then obviously like your standard like food bank, like helping out at like distribution centers, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, for myself,
Mhm.
I volunteered at a Korean school, like a weekend Korean school.
Okay.
And
Did you volunteer? Because I know there was some schools like my brother taught at a school that he volunteered for, and then like every like winter they'd give him a gift.
no,
Okay,
never got a gift.
Okay.
They start you out with a hoodie that says volunteer, but I wouldn't count that as a gift.
No, he got a monetary donation.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I didn't get anything monetary,
okay.
but you know how you usually just go to your own school,
Yeah.
you only see your own school people. When you volunteer at a weekend Korean
yeah.
school, literally all the Koreans of the neighboring high schools are either attending or they're volunteering.
Yeah.
And they would pair up volunteers every weekend, like a guy and a girl for each classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I had some fun with that.
Mhm.
It's like you get to spend 4 hours, but it's a gamble.
Oh,
You don't know who you're going to be paired with.
yeah.
It's a gamble.
Did you like some of those people you were paired with?
I think I met my first girlfriend. Yeah,
Whoa,
by volunteering at Korean school.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably better than money, unless it wasn't. That's for a future episode. We'll dive into that.
I was trying to put a number to it. Yeah. I was like, for how much money would I have traded my experience? Yeah, no, I think it would have to be a pretty high number. Yeah, but yeah, so for me, volunteering 4 hours every week, and of course, I like looped all of my friends into it too.
Oh
Like,
yeah, you were like, this is a great way to meet girls.
no, they're just like, bro, come on, just like hang out like during like
Okay.
like break time, which is
Yeah.
like the lunch period. Like we'll hang out, we'll like do our own thing. I got like 6 other Korean people in my high school to come.
Nice.
One of which I had a crush on.
Nice.
Yeah, so volunteering just got a little bit more fun.
Wow.
but-
Okay. You know what? That's good of you.
Yeah, so when it comes to extracurriculars and reporting that to college, like what did I learn? I enjoy nurturing young minds, I
Mhm.
guess. I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I
Sure.
guess.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, what can a kid do?
Yeah.
That's so impressive anyway.
No. Yeah. Totally get that.
Yeah.
But hey, we're here now. We have a podcast.
Yeah, we've made it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is the definition of making it for
Yeah.
sure.
It's gonna go on YouTube, and everyone knows that YouTube is global.
Yeah. Our outreach is gonna be crazy.
Yeah. We've just gone international.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is our first episode, and today was just myself and Vishal.
Yeah.
But next week,
Drum roll for the next guest.
well, I think we should keep it a surprise.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that whenever a video drops,
Okay.
they're like, "Whoa, who is it?"
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, for our next episodes and each episode onward, the goal is to have a person from our friend group join us. So it'll be the three of us. We have a seat right here in the middle, waiting for them, and we're gonna go through this podcast just like we did today, talking about a lot of random topics, but ultimately, I guess, just trying to get to know them better. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. So we'll see you back on the second episode.
All right. Yeah. See you guys later.